Good morning, ladies. Welcome to Spiritual Sanctuary, Wisdom for the Divine Feminine, a sacred space for reflection, healing, and remembering who you are beneath the noise of the world. This podcast is for women walking a conscious spiritual path, those drawn to intuition, embodiment, cycles, goddess wisdom, and soulful living. Here we explore what it means to heal without bypassing, to grow without abandoning ourselves, and to live with intention, sovereignty, and compassion. Whether you're listening for guidance, grounding, or simply a moment of connection, you're welcome here, exactly as you are. I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Cosmic Connections of Nashville, a beautiful metaphysical shop and community space supporting spiritual seekers on their path. You can visit them online at yourcosmicconnections.com. And as a thank you for listening, use the code Bertina Podcast 10. That is BERTENA Podcast, PODCAST, and the number 10 to receive 10% off your online order. Now, remember, supporting our sponsors helps keep this podcast accessible and allows us to continue offering meaningful, heart-centered conversations. So if you're ready, let's begin.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're warm and you have electricity. We are snowed in here in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and I thought what I might would do is to give you a bonus episode on the podcast and YouTube today. Maybe just talking about sacred stillness, doing a reflection on being snowed in, and then a meditation. So, if you're listening to this while snow is falling or while the world outside feels unusually quiet, I just want you to begin to soften. Snow changes the energy of everything. It slows down the world in a way that nothing else really can. Roads tend to be empty, sounds become dull, and then time stretches out. And suddenly, the constant demand of keeping going kind of eases, even if just a little bit. I know I like to nap a lot. And it's also a time for me to get to do a lot of these meditations and podcasts for you. But being snowed in isn't really an inconvenience from a spiritual perspective. It's an initiation into stillness. Snow tends to arrive when the earth is resting. There's nothing blooming outside. There's nothing asked to be harvested. And yet everything underneath the earth is alive. It's breathing and it's preparing. Next Sunday, a week from today is Imbolc, and that is like the peaking back of the light and the winter going away a little bit. But for right now, spiritually, the snow is asking us just to take a sacred pause, a cleansing, and a return to quiet. I know sometimes that quiet can be uncomfortable at first, especially when we're concerned about loved ones on the road, ice falling like it is here now, electricity, and also power going out, heat going out, water pipes bursting. But for us, let's think about it spiritually for a little bit. The noise stops and we hear ourselves more clearly. Snow asks us to slow our nervous systems, not just our schedules, but it invites us to move inward instead of outward. Snow also asks us to rest without guilt instead of striving, because this is not a season of productivity, it's a season of preservation. In ancient cultures, winter was never about doing more. It was about surviving wisely, staying warm, staying together, and staying connected to spirit through fire and stories and prayer and rest. And somewhere along the way, we forgot that rest is sacred. And snow reminds us, and especially in this snowstorm right now, staying warm and staying together, maybe in the front room together and trying to get the kids not to fight, get them to play a board game or something if you don't have electricity. But it's really kind of cool because it softens the earth, it softens us, it protects us, and it insulates what's going to bloom later. So in that way, snow mirrors what happens within us when we finally stop pushing. I know I've been tired lately, and I'm sure you have been too. I mean, really bone tired, soul tired. It's like all I want to do is sleep. And it's just information coming into us that we will be using soon. It's just downloads. It's winter wisdom, if you want to call it that. But if you've been feeling emotionally quiet or less motivated, it's not a failure. It's okay to be this way. Allowing our bodies to catch up to your spirit, allowing our emotions to settle without needing to be analyzed, and allowing yourself to exist without producing. Being snowed in is a return to our sanctuary, and I love it. The sanctuary may be literal, it may be your house, it can be your couch, it can be your bed. It might be internally a place of stillness that you haven't visited in a while, and it could be a beautiful time to gently tend to yourself. I've taken a bubble bath, lit some candles, and I didn't really light the candles to manifest or set any intentions, but just really to honor my presence. If you can see my area, my desk, there's candles here. And it just helps you be in the moment. Maybe drink something warm. We've got some hot cocoa going on, and just don't rush. I feel like this time also is a time for reflection. I know what, we're almost at the end of January. And instead of asking, what resolutions have you already stopped doing? Or what do you need to do for work? And hopefully, most of you all are off work right now. But think about being like a child in the snow, doing snow angels, and releasing things into the snow or into the quiet. I think laughter heals. And I know many times when I was a child, I loved doing snow angels. I hated being wet. I will admit that. But I loved making snow angels and it healed me. It just made me feel so happy. It made me really hungry. So I would either get chicken noodle soup when I came in or vegetable soup. And it just made me really sleepy. I think those were some of the best naps I've ever had. But the wisdom is not knowing what is going on, and the healing is not forcing clarity on it. We don't have to know. I have clients who are always like, I need to know this and I need to know this. But no, sometimes we don't. Sometimes growth isn't visible. And because the snow aligns us with long nights and deep rest, it also opens the door to something that we really need, which is really true sleep. Not the kind of sleep where your body just shuts down and your mind stays busy. That happens all the time. When I get ready to go to sleep, it just seems like I am working out my next day's plans. But when I know I don't have to go to school tomorrow, and I don't have to go to school tomorrow, I can actually stop and just sleep. I'm going to take a nap right after this. So if you're listening to this, whether it's during the day and you're ready for a nap or if it's near your bedtime, I invite you now just to rest a little bit more deeply. And I am going to provide you a snow meditation for sleep and to help the nervous system reset. My cats have just decided to come lay beside me too. So you don't have to set up for this. You don't need perfect posture. Just let your body be exactly as it is. Lay down. Allow your eyes to close when you're ready. Take in a slow breath in through your nose and exhale gently through your mouth. Again, breathe in and exhale. Now imagine that you're inside a warm, quiet space. It may be your sanctuary. Outside, the snow is falling. It's not a storm and it's not chaos. It's just slow, steady, fluffy snow. Each snowflake moves at its own pace, and there's no rush, there's no urgency, and no demand. With every breath, the snow absorbs sound. Your thoughts begin to soften, and your nervous system begins to recognize that it's in a safe space. Imagine the snow falling over your mind, cooling sharp edges, quieting loops of thought, covering worries like a soft, white, fluffy blanket. Breathe in and exhale again and allow your shoulders to relax, your jaw to release, and your breath becomes slower and deeper and natural. If you're carrying anything as we are resting, like emotion or grief, exhaustion, uncertainty, don't process it. Just envision giving it to the snow and letting it hold it for you for a while. Feel your body sinking into your bed. You're fully supported. You're fully held. You are safe and you're allowed to rest. There's nothing that you need to solve tonight, nothing that you need to decide, or nothing that you need to become. Snow reminds us that life continues even when we're still. Continue to breathe in and out. Let yourself drift now. Bring that blanket even closer. Wrap yourself in the warmth of that fuzzy blanket. Notice the quiet. You're being carried into deep, nourishing sleep. If you fall asleep before this ends, this is exactly what you're meant to do. Snow does not delay life, it protects it. If you're snowed in right now, let this be your permission slip to rest, to slow, and to trust the quiet. The thaw outside will come when it's ready, but for now, let yourself be held in the stillness. Sleep well, my sisters, and when the world begins to move again, you'll rise rested. Not because you pushed, but because you listened. Sweet dreams.
Thank you for spending this time with me at the Spiritual Sanctuary. If today's episode resonated with you, I invite you to pause for a moment. Take a breath, notice what stayed with you, and honor whatever is folding within. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can share this episode, leave a review, or pass it along to someone whom you think may need it. And don't forget, you can support our sponsor, Cosmic Connections of Nashville, by visiting their website, yourcosmicconnections.com, and using the code Bertina Podcast 10 for 10% off your online order. Until next time, may you move gently, trust your inner knowing, and remember that wisdom already lives within you. This is Spiritual Sanctuary Wisdom for the Divine Feminine. Good evening.